Sorenson, we are a media technology company, and we created an addressable platform for linear television, which leverages the fast-growing footprint of internet-connected smart TVs. And you could say, other companies do the same thing, like the pay TV operators. However, there are three key differentiators that make our approach unique, right? So the first one is that we don't use the existing traditional cable and headend infrastructure, as we replace ads directly on the glass. And that's interesting for a couple of reasons. And one of those reasons is scale. Because if you look to the addressable and internet-connected smart TVs, there are like 75 million units shipped today. And it is expected that in the next 4 to 5 years, that will reach full market penetration. And whereas if you compare it to set-top boxes, that growth is kind of flat or sometimes even in decline. So the second big differentiator is that we are not beholden to the 2 minutes per hour on national cable, right? So we can replace national avails on national cable nets. We can do national spots on national broadcast, and we can do local spots on local broadcast. So just to put that in perspective, today, a guesstimate is that around 3% of all TV impressions are, because the 2 minutes per hour are addressable. With our solution, we can address the other 97%, which is, a pretty interesting proposition to the industry. Now, and lastly, the third kind of difference is that our platform is truly real time. That means that you can start, stop, and pause campaigns within seconds. You can change your target audience within seconds. And of course, all the reporting, all the measurement is impression-based and second by second. So you could say that our platform truly combines the best of both worlds. It's the scale and impact of TV combined with the targeting and the real-time execution of digital.
So, Stefan, you work primarily with the programmers for the cable networks.
Yep,
so, not to get too deep in the weeds around ad ops, but tell us a little bit about how it works from an operational standpoint.
Absolutely. So, so of course, with our technology, we focus on the network partners. And what we enable for them is to convert a traditional linear spot into like a highly targeted addressable ad unit, which is like super interesting for them, right? And how it works is fairly straightforward. So for the non-smart TV households, we will just show, or the system will just show the underlying ad, the linear spot. However, if you have an internet-connected smart TV, then we can start showing highly targeted ads based on your interest, based on your income, based on your location, or frankly, any other first or third-party data set that's out there. And very similar to any digital execution, again here, ads can be, or campaigns can be frequency capped. You can change out the creatives in real time. And as already mentioned, the measurement, the monitoring, all that data is kind of available in real time. We even, and this is kind of interesting, we even are working on further integrating into the premium video DSPs. So to enable networks, if they want, to start selling their linear impressions in a truly programmatic way. So we call this programmatic addressable.
Tell us a little bit about your partnerships, some of the networks you're starting to work with.
Yeah, so we recently launched with AMC. So we do very exciting things with the AMC team. We also started a pilot with Discovery, which is very interesting. And we have a handful of others which I cannot announce today, but you will see some announcements pretty soon. And we target by the end of the year to have like 10, 15 networks in the hopper for either pilot or full-fledged commercial deployment.
And of course, privacy is an issue that is a big concern, more than ever, I would say. How about privacy compliance and your best practices over there at Sorenson? Yeah,
I agree. Privacy is always a hot topic, and we take it very seriously. So we only collect anonymized, aggregated non-PII data, and we do it only from smart TVs that have opted in specifically for interest-based advertising. Also, for the targeting piece, we work with third-party matching companies, which link the smart TV information with all kind of first-party and third-party data sets.
So it's an informed decision by the networks. So they know to target a certain ad to someone who's looking for a new car, perhaps?
Absolutely.
Or how deep does it get?
It can go pretty deep, and of course it's always a balance of scale and kind of and targeting. If you target too specific, then your campaign doesn't have any volume, any scale. So it's always balancing, okay, what do you want to achieve versus the scale that you want to have in your campaign.
And finally, what's your business model? How do you sit in the ecosystem, and how do you make money?
So we are a technology company, so we don't want to sell media. We just want to make sure that we enable addressable in the broadest way possible to our network partners. So that's kind of like from a positioning point of view. From a business point of view, is very similar to other kind of technology companies out there. We take a rev share or a license for our platform, but at the end of the day, it's for the networks to kind of commercialize our platform.
Great, and Stefan, you and I have been talking about advanced TV. This is certainly a very interesting area. Mm-hmm. Where do you see things going for Sorenson and the industry maybe in the next 12 months?
So one thing for Sorenson, what we would like to do more is to use the data that we have, and one kind of interesting feature set that we're looking at is what we call holistic frequency management, or capping, which effectively looks at the overall exposure of an ad. Because typically, like the large brand advertisers, they don't do only addressable, they don't only do linear, they kind of do a combined buy, right? Since we kind of see what's happening on the television, we can exactly see how many impressions of, let's say, a large auto brand has been exposed to that particular household, and bringing that information back to the network and to the advertiser, in our view, has a lot of value, because then you can do frequency capping and make sure that you kind of have the optimum exposure for your campaign, either to a linear, to addressable, and ideally in the future to anything, right?
Cool. And finally, how are the networks, your partners, selling it? They have their own, this is new for them.
It's new.
They have to sell to the buyers, and
totally,
where does that all stand?
Yeah, so this is new. It has never been done before, so this is an industry first. So it's a lot of learning. And what we try to do, we try to help them, so kind of create like a marketplace so that everybody can see, hey, it works. They can see the learnings. But at the end of the day, we want to push them to make so that they can start selling by themselves at scale. We think it's going to take a little while because, again, it's all new, but we are pretty confident, especially with the leadership at those big network players that typically come from addressable shops, so they kind of know how it works. So we're pretty confident that we can go through this learning curve pretty quick.